أصحاب المعالي، أيها الحضور الكريم، يسعدني أن أكون معكم اليوم لإدارة هذه الجلسة تحت عنوان آفاق جديدة: التوازن والابتكار في القطاع العقاري. لا شك أن القطاع العقاري يشهد تحولات كبيرة مع التقدم التكنولوجي، الحاجة إلى الاستدامة وتغيير متطلبات السوق. اليوم سوف نناقش واقع القطاع العقاري في 3 دول تختلف بطبيعتها وخصوصيتها، وهي قطر، نيجيريا وجزر المالديف. كما سنسلط الضوء على كيفية التوازن بين التنمية الحضرية من جهة والابتكار والاستدامة من جهة أخرى. رحبوا معي بضيوفي الكرام. شكرا جزيلا لوجودكم معنا. Thank you for being with us. Your Excellency معالي السيد عبد الله العطية، سأبدأ هذا الحوار معك. عندما نتحدث عن السوق العقاري في قطر لا نتحدث عن السوق العقاري بدون التطرق إلى نقطة التحول. نقطة التحول كانت استضافة كأس العالم، وبالتالي هذا أدى إلى ضخ استثمارات ضخمة تقدر ب 300 مليار دولار تم ضخها في البنى التحتية قبل استضافة كأس العالم. وهنا السؤال: كيف انعكس ذلك وكيف غير من السوق العقاري في دولة قطر؟
طبعا في البداية نسلم على الحضور وأتوجه جزيل الشكر للمشاركة في هذا المؤتمر القدير. بالنسبة لدولة قطر، وأنت تطرقتي على موضوع كأس العالم 2022. طبعا هذه الاستثمارات في البنية التحتية هي كانت جزء من خطة اللي هي رؤية قطر الوطنية 2030، واللي أصلا كانت رؤية موجودة للدولة قبل استضافة كأس العالم 2022، أو قبل حتى الإعلان عن استضافة دولة قطر لكأس العالم 2022. ولكن طبعا كأس العالم عطى السرعة في تنفيذ هذه الخطط، وقدمت كثير من هذه الخطط، والدولة حطت كثير من هاي الميزانيات لتطوير البنية التحتية. اليوم قطر عندها واحدة من أقوى البنية التحتية في العالم. من ناحية المؤشرات العالمية هي رقم 1 عالميا في البنية التحتية الرئيسية. عندها طبعا وسائل التنقل، سواء كانت بالقطار، احنا ما كان عندنا قطار في السابق، او بالطرق. وطبعا عندنا واحدة من اكبر وافضل المطارات في العالم، خذت جائزة احسن مطار في العالم لمدة 4 سنين بشكل كونتينيوس. فاذا نشوف الصورة بشكل عام، شنو القطاع العقاري، ايش اللي يحرك القطاع العقاري؟ العقار نسمع احنا نقول بالعاميه يمرض ولا يموت. يعني احنا نشوف العقار هو شيء محرك لاي مشروع أو خطة أو استراتيجية تقوم عليها الوطن. هو مؤشر رئيسي للاقتصاد الوطني لأي دولة في العالم، والحمد لله رب العالمين هاي حرك قطاع العقارات بشكل كبير في دولة قطر. وبدينا واحدة من أكبر المدن اليوم نشوفها حية الذكية في العالم، اللي تم تصميمها من الصفر أن هي مدينة ذكية، وهي مدينة لوسيل.
سوف نعود للحديث عن مدينة لوسيل، ولكن هذه المشاريع الضخمة اللي أتت قبل كأس العالم معاليك هي أدت إلى زيادة كبيرة في المعروض بعد انتهاء كأس العالم. اليوم ما تقييمكم لحجم التخمة في المعروض بالمقارنة مع الطلب في مختلف القطاعات بالسوق العقاري؟
هو الناس تحط في بالها أن البنية التحتية كن فيكون. البنية التحتية طبعا مش شيء الواحد يقول والله مثلا المملكة العربية السعودية اليوم نشوف الطفرة العمرانية اللي قاعدة تصير فيها، كلها مشاريع تقوم وبتكون جاهزة نفس ما سمعنا في المؤتمر 2027 28 29. فالبنية التحتية تأخذ سنوات. فبالعكس هذه مشكلة احنا نحب ان تكون موجودة، لان البنية التحتية موجودة الان. الخطط الاستراتيجية الموجودة بتغطي هذا بعض التخم اللي نتكلم عنه. لكن لو شفنا مثلا من ناحية المواقع السكنية، فبالعكس الاوكيمسي الموجود عندنا في دولة قطر وصل فوق ال 95%. من ناحية المناطق الفنادق، مع زيادة عدد السياح في دولة قطر، اليوم احنا يمكن أكبر عدد وصلناه السنة اللي راحت، وصلنا 5 ملايين سايح في السنة. وهذا غطت علينا كثير من الفنادق. عندنا بعض التخم أو الاستخدام الزائد أو الوفر في المكاتب، ولكن هذا يعتمد على كيف المستثمر يتم تطويره على الاشياء اللي احنا نبغيها. اليوم عندنا طبعا الاي اي، الداتا سنتر، في اشياء كثيره الدوله شغاله عليها، واحنا بالعكس اللي نشوف الا يعني في موقع للعقار، ولكن في بعد اختيار ممنهج للاستثمار نفسه وليس استثمار مفتوح.
فيما يتعلق بالفنادق، كانت ملفتة بعض الأرقام اللي شفتها اليوم. في 40,000 تقريبا غرفة فندقية في قطر. تم إضافة في العام 2022 رقم قياسي أكثر من 7,000 غرفة فندقية. العام الماضي عام 2023 1,300 غرفة. ما بعرف إذا بتعطيني رقم معين حول نسبة الإشغال لهذه الغرف، وما توقعاتكم؟ هل تستوعب السوق المزيد من الفنادق في قطر؟
احنا اليوم بشكل عام الاستثمار الموجود عندنا الاوكيبنسي، عشان انا اعطيك اياه، تقريبا 80% في السنه، فاحنا بالعكس الاوكيبنسي بالنسبه لنا جيد كدوله قطر. اذا تتكلمين عن الاستيعاب، احنا تكلمت يلا حفظت قلتي 40,000 هو حجم الغرف الموجودة. تقريبا 10% منها على الشاطئ، فقط 10%، فنتكلم عن تقريبا 4,000 غرفة. فهناك طلب محتاجين لمنتجعات، ولكن الفنادق الموجودة داخل الدولة لا، احنا نشوف ان العدد الموجود اليوم يعني يمشي مع استراتيجية الوطنية للسياحة بشكل عام واستراتيجية الرؤية القطرية مالت 2030.
شكرا. I will switch now to English. Your Excellency, Mr. Abdallah, tell us more about the dynamics of the real estate sector in Maldives. It's a sector that many of us don't really understand. So we know that it accounts for around 8% of your country's GDP. What were the main drivers of the real estate sector in Maldives last year?
Thank you very much for the opportunity here. Actually, we need to understand the context of Maldives. The population is very small. We just under 500,000 people living there with the expatriates. But we rely heavily on the tourism sector. The construction industry and the real estate development we see is mainly focused on tourism. However, the developments of seeing one resort on a separate island require us to have public sector investment in connecting those islands, and that's one area that government has to focus on. For example, we have built harbor access to every island, every inhabited island, which is 187. We have built over 18 airports. Only 1 or 2 airports are economically feasible. But this is important because without this connectivity, there won't be enough investments across the country, as we are fully reliant on tourism sector to get foreign currency as well as our economy. So in that sense, there is a huge real estate developments coming on, but specifically these are for the tourism hotels and to cater for the tourism sector. But there is a huge opportunity that we have to focus on, where we can actually build Dubai kind of real estate developments for foreigners to come and buy as holiday homes. But that is an area that we have not tapped in yet. And that there is a huge opportunity for the investors to come and do such kind of projects.
So individual investors, you see opportunity in individual investors investing in the real estate sector in Maldives and not the big hotels? And
I think we have to be creative in a way that because each hotel development is on a separate island, where actually a developer can come and build a hotel and for example luxury villas, and then sell those individual villas to private investors. And that is an area we have tried, but I think the legal framework is not good enough there. But that is an opportunity where we can actually diversify our economy, where we can expand our real estate sector, where we can attract more people to spend holidays or to live there. So I think that is an area we have to focus on now, because the tourism sector as such is developed tremendously. We have over 160 properties, each island has a separate hotel. So in that model, we have developed quite well. But I think to diversify that sector and to get more benefits, we have to focus on developing the real estate sector, where each individuals, foreigners, can buy properties and use that as a way to earn income or something like that, or spend holidays. So I think that is an opportunity where we have to market it to foreigners. We have to tell the developers to come and invest in there, and also we have to make it easy for the individuals to buy these properties and invest in real estate sector, and that is something that government has to focus on.
And can you tell us more about the size of investments that you attracted in the real estate sector in the Maldives? And do you have any numbers about the investments and the interest from the Middle East?
Actually, almost all the resorts in Maldives are very high-end resorts. The cost of these investments starts from small resorts, $50 million to $500 million. And there are huge investments that is happening even now. But these are very high-end properties focused on as a hotel. The investors are doing this as a business rather than selling the separate properties on these islands. And I think that is where we can attract developers to come and build separate island as a resort model, but still luxury villas separately can be bought by the private investors, and then use this as a model to earn money or to spend holidays there. So I think that is something there. So if we look at that, we don't have exact numbers how much that will be the investment value, but a couple of years ago there was a project where each villa was costing around $5 million. So the private investors buy these properties and lease it to the operators to operate it, and then they earn money. I think that is an area we can focus on, and that is an area we can attract more developers and also private investors.
In a beautiful country. I visited twice, so I'm hoping I can visit more of the 1,000 islands that you have. Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed, I haven't visited Nigeria, I'm hoping to. If we talked about a surplus in the real estate sector in Qatar, the picture is totally different in Nigeria. We are talking there about a deficit, and it's estimated there's a deficit of more than 20 million units needed in the real estate sector in Nigeria. What are you doing in that regard?
Well, thank you very much for participating in this forum. In Nigeria, the realities in ground is that of rapid urbanization, population growth, and economic pressures that make it imperative for us to rethink of how to provide housing or deliver housing to the population. It's a population that has over 200 million population with a deficit of, as you said, over 20 million. And the population growth is at 2.5% per annum. That means every year you need at least 5.5 million more houses to cover that population. So it has become a lot of pressure on it, to the sense that a lot of innovation has to be brought in to ensure that we achieve that deficit that we are having. Currently, with the current administration that is just about to enter its second year, the government has introduced the Renewed Hope Cities and Estates Program. The Renewed Hope Estate and Cities Program is one of the key sectors that the government has developed. We are intending, or we have started developing, we selected 5 most populous cities. Then we developed the Renewed Hope Cities, 1,000 houses and above. All these ones are through the PPP, public-private participation, whereby the government will create an enabling environment, provide access to land, and then provide even access to finance by creating bankable off-taker guarantee for the investors. Once you have that bankable off-taker guarantee, it becomes a guarantee for you to build the houses, the Federal Mortgage Bank, which is an institution of government that provides cheaper mortgage to procure the houses for the individuals and then create mortgage for the individuals. Apart from the renewed hope cities, this is in 7 locations, 1 in each geopolitical zone of the country, 6 geopolitical zone of the country, and 1 at the center, which is the federal capital. And then we are taking also about the renewed hope estates. The renewed hope estates are in the 30 states of the federation. Currently, we have taken 12 out of those 30 states, and we have taken 3 out of those renewed hope cities. And the development has started. We have started with over 10,000 housing units, and development is ongoing. The renewed hope estates are funded by the government funding to ensure that they are affordable for the population because of the low earning capacity of the population, so that the houses, 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms can be built, and they are expandable. 1 bedroom can be expanded to 2 bedroom as the family grows or your income increases. Then there is also the National Social Housing Fund. This one, we are developing it for even the vulnerables, the no income, the underprivileged, those who couldn't have it. So it's a fund that we are trying to generate. It's at the National Assembly currently, so that when it is done, we'll find that Nigerians or the population can be able to access funding. Some of the houses could be as cheap as possible for even the no income could be able to do it. So we have to strike the balance and ensure that the building material manufacturing hubs is one area which the government is trying, we are building. The building material manufacturing hub is a hub, one in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, whereby the building materials could be made locally and the population could be able to purchase it, and then so that we don't need to import those building materials and make the houses much cheaper and more affordable for it. We are also engaging on the strategic partnerships in both local and international stakeholders, where we are working to unlock opportunities for any investor, especially in affordable housing and even sustainable housing for the population. So today's discussion is crucial, especially in this kind of discussions, because through this we can now look forward to sharing insights and even learning from fellow panelists how we can work together and create a real estate landscape that is not only accessible and affordable, but also sustainable and resilient to the population.
Your Excellency, but the economic conditions were not very favorable to the real estate sector. Interest rates are at all-time high. We have seen inflation at the highest level in around 30 years, and we have seen a 70% devaluation of your currency since 2023. So how was this reflected on the real estate sector?
It has greatly negatively affected the real estate sector, but that's why the government has to ensure that other innovations are brought in. There's already an existing federal government agency, which is the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, in such a way that some of its innovative products that we have approved, it includes, it has to be rent to own. Sometimes you need to rent a house, at the same time that house becomes your own. And other innovations that you have to ensure that you create a single-digit interest rate mortgage for the population. At the same time, we have also created the non-interest mortgage, whereby those for financial inclusion that need ethical mortgage for them to access funding. And the mortgage is at single digits and up to 30 years for repayment plans for you to leverage that. And that is the main reason why we have to create the building material manufacturing hubs. Because if you try to import with the current valuation, the building material cost will be high and the cost of construction will be very high. So with the creation of the building material manufacturing hubs, we are trying to create a lot of innovation so that the population could be able to buy cheaper materials, use local materials, and ensure that the cost of building is not as high. And at the same time, you are creating jobs for the population.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
معالي السيد عبد الله، خلينا نتحدث هلا بعض الشيء عن موضوع الاستدامة في مشاريعكم. تحدثت عن مدينة لوسيل وهي يعني مدينة فيها كل معايير الاستدامة. قديش هذا الموضوع هو من محور عمل الوزارة؟
إذا ممكن أنا بعد بعلق على كلام سعادة الوزير النيجيري، لأن I think this is the beauty of real estate. When there is high interest rate, there is inflation, the rental market pick up. So it's an investment opportunity. When there is a surplus, لما نقول والله في surplus, that means the prices go down. It's an opportunity. If you look at now San Francisco مثلا في أمريكا، نلقى أن في مكاتب جدا موجودة والفيكنسي والسيربلاس بشكل غير طبيعي. بس الآن مع وجود الاي اي والتطور it's an opportunity. يعني البزنس ما يمشي بالطريقة اللي احنا نتكلم عنها. اللي عنده كاش غير عن اللي ما عنده، اللي يبي want to park his money ولا لا. It depends on main factors لازم احنا نحطها في الاعتبار. رقم واحد الاستقرار. أنا لما بحط فلوسي في مكان لازم أحس نفسي أنا مستقر فيه. الأمن، لازم أن أنا أكون آمن في مكاني. اليوم الحمد لله ولله الحمد دولة قطر بير كابيتا هي رقم واحد في مؤشر الأمن في العالم. رقم ثلاثة الشفافية، وإحنا اليوم حطينا طبعاً بدينا مع المهندس خالد الهيئة التطوير العقاري اللي فيها لجنة فض المنازعات العقارية. لازم يكون في security حق المستثمر إنه يجي ويستثمر أما الماركت فهو مو بشغل الحكومات. كل ما الحكومة تدخل في الماركت ممكن تأثر عليه. الماركت لازم يكون نفس ما هو عليه، لازم يشتغل بالطريقة الصحيحة. إحنا علينا إن إحنا نبني البيئة.
فإذا بس الحكومات موجودة بالسوق العقاري بدول الخليج كلها، هي بتبني مشاريع وبتبني مدن.
نعم، وهذا الله يسلمك اللي شوي شوي we need to decouple from. لازم إن إحنا نخصص. اليوم نسمع المملكة العربية السعودية أكثر من شركة عقارية قاعدة تدخل القطاع العقاري، يمكن تأسست بشكل حكومي ولكن دخلت في القطاع العقاري، بس لها سبب. يعني أعطيك مثال، في دولة قطر نتكلم في السبعينات والثمانينات أول فنادق تأسست الدولة سوتها. لماذا؟ لأن كان القطاع الفندقي غير مربح غير مجدي، لكن الدولة محتاجة فندق. اليوم هاي الفنادق خذتها الدولة حطتها في الستوك ماركت فصارت برايفت، صارت مور ريجوليتد، صارت مور هاي. شنو الأشياء اللي الدولة تركز عليها؟ اللي هو المؤشر العالمي للتنافسية. احنا اليوم رقم 11 الحمد لله في دولة قطر ودول الخليج. شيء ثاني اللي لازم ان انت تركزين فيه، دول الخليج تعتبر على المنصة العالمية دولة واحدة، احنا دولة صغيرة، فاحنا الحمد لله من تطور لتطور أكبر. تكلمتي عن الاستدامة وعن الذكاء الاصطناعي. من يقدر يطبق اليوم الذكاء الاصطناعي في البنية التحتية؟ من؟ هل اللي سوى البنية التحتية مالته في السبعينات والستينات، ولا اللي اليوم سوى البنية التحتية مالته اللي عنده بنية تحتية حديثة نفس دول الخليج؟ يعني بالعكس اليوم اللي يجينا من برا ينبهر مقارنة باللي قاعد يصير في دول عالمية مثل كاليفورنيا ومثل أماكن ثانية اللي البنية التحتية. إذا معالي الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب تكلم وقال إن أنا انبهرت يوم رحت حق مطارات دول الخليج، ليش ما يكون عندنا إحنا هذا؟ هاي طبعا. فاليوم إحنا عندنا البنية التحتية، واليوم إن شاء الله مع الذكاء الاصطناعي إحنا بناخذ البنية التحتية لمستقبل عقار مختلف. في شيء في قطاع العقارات اسمه موف تو كواليتي، في ناس ما يعرفها بس موف تو كواليتي. يعني أنا اليوم المكاتب ما فيها فرص ما تتأجر، لكن إذا أنا سويت مكتب سمارت، لو أنا حطيت إن الواحد اللي يجي يلاقي الأثاث موجود، غير عن إن أنا أروح مكتب يعني مكان ثاني وسعر ثاني. فبالعكس أنا أشوف السوق العقاري سوق متطور. في تحديات في المكاتب مع التكنولوجيا، لأن نتكلم عن المايكروسوفت تيمز، نتكلم عن الورك فروم ديستنس، واللي الصراحة اليوم أثبت إنه غير فعال، لأن الافشنسي بالهيومن كوميونيكيشن لما احنا نقعد ونتكلم. مدينة لوسيل صممت 2005، فبالعكس نظرة قديمة إن شلون أنا أصمم دولة أو مدينة بشكل عام من التصميم تكون مصممة أن تكون مدينة ذكية. هاي شيء ما مو موجود في يعني في معظم المدن، لأن المدن الحديثة يروح حق مدينة موجودة ومزدهرة بالسكان ويروح يحاول يغيرها. ذي لا، من البداية من انسبشن واحدة من أكبر المدن الذكية الموجودة. وهذا لأن في عندنا استراتيجية في دولة قطر أن احنا نزيد عدد السكان الموجود الحالي في الدولة إلى ما يقارب 4 مليون نسمة في حلول 2030. اليوم عدد السكان في دولة قطر 2.7 مليون، في نسبة كبيرة منها من 30 تقريبا في المية عمالة، واحنا نبي نزيد الوايت كلر، نقلل البلو كلر. كيف؟ في الصناعات، في الداون ستريم مال الاويل اند غاز. قطر طبعا من اكبر دوله مصدره للغاز الطبيعي في العالم، عندنا الكهرباء من ارخص الكهرباء في العالم، الداتا سنتر نفس ما تعرفين الان هذا شيء جديد، في اكثر من شيء الواحد ممكن يشتغل عليه، ولكن مو بتزيد عدد السكان بس كذا، لازم نزيد عدد السكان with quality destination. قطر صار عندها خلاص فكر ان انا مدينه العائله، لازم ان العائله تكون لها مكان. شفنا في كاس العالم عوائل يمكن انت شفتيهم الله يحفظك، ان الناس يقولون والله احنا رحنا مباريات وقدرنا نودي عيالنا وفي الليل وفي امان. احنا نبي هذا، وي ونت تو بيلد على هذا الشيء، واحنا نشوف ان شاء الله عندنا هاي. بس اذا ممكن تسمحي لي ابى احط واحده من الاشياء اللي استفدنا منها من كاس العالم. اليوم الله يسلمك تم اعتماد جميع مدن قطر، جميع بلديات قطر من منظمة الصحة العالمية WHO، وهذه يعد أول دولة في العالم يتم اعتماد جميع بلدياتها من منظمة الصحة العالمية. وتم أيضا انضمام 7 مدن قطرية من أصل 8، يعني بس باقي مدينة إن شاء الله بتنضم قريبا إلى شبكة اليونسكو العالمية لمدن التعلم. وفي 2024 ولله الحمد فازت مدينة الدوحة بجائزة اليونسكو لمدن التعلم للعلم لسنة 2024. فبالعكس أنا وجهة نظري هذه الأشياء اللي دول الخليج اللي لازم تشتغل عليها، اللي هي عاداتها، تقاليدها، أمنها، مكانها، سلامتها، المكان اللي الواحد يجي ويقول إن أنا فعلا أبي أعيش. ما في ترى ما في أجنبي يجي دول الخليج يقعد أكثر من 3 سنين ويقول أنا ما أبي أخذ عيالي أوديهم المدارس هنا، أعيش هنا، إن أكون موجود. ولكن البيئة هذه لازم نشتغل عليها ولازم نشتغل عليها أكثر يعني.
شكرا معالي. Your Excellency, Mr. Abdallah, if we want to go back to sustainability and climate change, we know that Maldives is unfortunately vulnerable to climate change. So how much is sustainability a core in your real estate strategy in the country?
Actually, we have, over the past few years, we have seen dramatic changes in the weather. We are getting more beach erosion. Almost all islands are facing the same problem. We are facing the flooding issue. So it is costing us quite significant amount of money to mitigate these measures. We have 187 inhabited islands. Only one island, this capital city, has more than 10,000 people, residents living there. We have more than 53 islands, less than 500 people as residents. But we are providing healthcare facilities. We have a health center in each island. We have educational facilities. Every island has up to grade 10. Most of the islands have up to grade 12. We have student teacher ratio of 3:1 in some islands. So it's kind of very, very expensive for us to tackle the environmental issue as well as to provide all the services to the people. So going forward, actually, we have to have safer islands built specifically to mitigate the environmental problems that we are facing. And that means we have to relocate people. And that's also going to be a quite expensive process for us, a country like us. Our GDP is less than $10 billion per year. So a country like ours, it's kind of huge investment to mitigate these measures, to protect the islands, as well as to build homes for the people to relocate. And that is why the government has embarked on a quite ambitious plan to reclaim a nearby lagoon near the capital city, which is 1,100 hectares. Um, we plan to build the city for over 200,000 people, so focusing on relocating people from small islands. Eh, what we have to do this is because we know going forward with the climate change, we cannot sustain all these islands. We cannot provide the protection, the mitigation measures that is required to keep the population on these islands. So we have to focus on small number of safe islands where people, we can relocate people and provide the best services for them.
And are you seeking technological solutions in that aspect?
Actually, the Maldives is, you know, scattered, you know, the islands are scattered. It's very difficult to connect. There's a part of the reason, you know, we have to build so many airports which are not economically feasible, but still we have to connect the population from one location to the other. And that is one reason it's become difficult to get this technologically advanced solutions for all islands is simply not economically feasible to connect to. Because our length of the Maldives is 800 kilometers, but the population, as I've mentioned, is less than 500,000. So to connect all these islands or such a long distance is very, very expensive. It's not feasible for the government to do the projects. But we are trying to connect all the islands with the fiber networks. We are trying to, all the islands now currently have 5G internet services, phone services, all the basic services are available. But still, as I mentioned, when we going forward, we have to provide a safer, more technologically advanced solution for the people to relocate and get to get the protection that is required from the climate change.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed, how much sustainability is a priority also in the urban planning of Nigeria?
Yes, sometimes sustainability is often construed as a luxury, expensive luxury. But at the end of the day, you'll find that it's an investment in the long-term affordability. So energy efficient buildings, the use of local building materials, as I said, the smart construction techniques, significantly, they reduce that carbon emission operational cost. In Nigeria, we're working currently with international partners like IFC Edge, who are our partners to mainstream the green buildings design and practices in Nigeria. I invited them to our ministry where we sat down. They trained most of our staffs, or almost entire of the technical staffs, on that green building efficient designs. It includes the capacity building and also technology transfer. These are some of the engagement we're having with those partners in terms of also financial incentives and for developers who also adopt that sustainability. So government has introduced that incentives for any developer that introduce energy efficient building designs. There are certain incentives that need to enjoy. Also in our ministry, we are spearheading that establishment of that building material manufacturing hubs, which we told you, is a way across the 6 geopolitical zones to reduce reliance on the imported building materials and use of the local building materials, and also promoting local production. We are also cut across a lot of sectors in terms of energy efficiency, because you'll find that with more efficient buildings, you'll find that it saves a lot of cost, and it also creates a livable environment for the citizens. So these are some of the things that we are doing in terms of that sustainable and sustainability. Some of the transformation we have done currently is the issue of where the Ministry of Finance of the country, through one of its companies, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, we are trying to develop the Real Estate Development Fund, whereby 250 billion naira was made available for it in order to enter into the capital market and raise it up to 1 trillion naira. With that 1 trillion naira, more developers are coming in, and they are being encouraged that whoever wants to access this kind of funding, he must imbibe the culture of sustainable buildings and energy efficient buildings. These are some of the innovations we have taken.
Thank you, Your Excellency. معالي السيد عبد الله، اليوم نحن متواجدين بالسعودية، وبالتالي السؤال لك: هل هناك من أوجه تعاون بالقطاع العقاري بينكم وبين السعودية؟
طبعا العلاقة مع المملكة العربية السعودية علاقة متينة وقديمة، وما في كلام ان احنا عندنا تعاون في مجالات عدة. من الاشياء اللي ممكن نتكلم فيها اللي هو التكامل بين المشاريع، مثلا في تعاون كبير بين المملكة العربية السعودية في مثلا مشروع نيوم في السعودية، ومشروع لوسيل، ومشروع مشيرب في قطر. وفي فرص تعاون كبيرة احنا شغالين عليها على مشاريع مشتركة لتعزيز البنية التحتية الإقليمية وتخلق فرص استثمارية جديدة بين البلدين، وطبعا تنظيم السوق العقاري في بين الهيئتين. أنا أتوقع كلام مباشر واجتماعات دورية بشكل ما تتصورينه، اللي على التشريعات والأشياء اللي احنا نستفيد منها من الهيئة، وهم بعد بالعكس وطبعا التبادل الخبرات الغير مستمر. احنا نشوف احنا والمملكة العربية السعودية، المملكة العربية وقطر دولة واحدة، وبيننا تعاون كثير. والصراحة إذا تسمحين لي أختم ولا في سؤال عقبه؟ وإذا في الختام طبعا أنا بقول أن دولة قطر عبر مشاريعها واستراتيجيتها المستقبلية تؤكد أن التنمية المستدامة والسستينابيلتي والابتكار التكنولوجي هم الأساس لتحقيق جودة حياة عالية لمواطنين دول المجلس. والتعاون الإقليمي مع المملكة العربية السعودية الشقيقة يمثل خطوة إضافية نحو تحقيق رؤية مشتركة للتنمية الشاملة في المنطقة. وشكرا.
شكرا معالي. Your Excellency, Mr. Abdallah, the same question goes to you. Is there any cooperation with Saudi Arabia in the real estate sector? And I want to hear your thoughts about the Saudi version of the Maldives here in the Red Sea. Are you scared of the competition?
Interesting question. Saudi Fund for Development has been helping us in our development, infrastructure development, greatly. But in the private investors and investment part of it, I think Qatar and UAE are much ahead of Saudi Arabia in terms of investments in Maldives. Qatar and Dubai and Abu Dhabi, they have made quite significant investments in the tourism sector in Maldives, and they're doing very, very well. And the new developments are also being done across the country. So I would like, Saudi investors, Saudi investment companies also to join and invest in Maldives. So Saudi has been one of the development partners, for over the years for the Maldives. But I would like, the private sector to get involved in real estate development in Maldives. Regarding the
competition.
The competition that Maldives are. Actually, it's not same. It's quite different. I think Saudi Arabia looked into developing one of the atolls in Maldives back in 2014, but then there were some problems and we could not take off. However, the Red Sea project, I wish it will become a very, very successful like Maldives. But this is quite different. The weather is different. The customers will be different. So we can, prosper successfully, and we can learn from each other when going forward. And I believe we have the biggest seaplane fleet in the world, connecting resorts to the capital city, the main airport hub in the capital. So I think those kind of experience sharing and investment sharing will help develop, the countries like Maldives, and I am sure that the islands in the Red Sea, when they develop those kind of experience sharing will help a lot. So we are not scared, but we expect, we hope, we can share the experiences and we can develop as partners.
It's always competition is good. It raises standards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed, your concluding remarks, please.
Well, thank you very much. I want to conclude that I was highly enticed with what I saw in Saudi Arabia, because my early experience in Saudi was that of Jeddah, Mecca, and Medina, where I used to come and pray and then go out. But what I saw when I came into Riyadh and what the presentations have taken, it's enticed me, and it shows that there are a lot of investments in Saudis. And I will want to create the indulgence of some of the investors in Saudi to also explore the opportunity of investing in our country, Nigeria, because the huge market is there. We have a huge market because we even have a lot of deficit of housing that are there. Usually the government creates a lot of enabling environment. As I said earlier, the land is free, and a lot of off-takers who are willing to buy the houses, they buy them off-plan. We have investors currently that are on ground that they start paying 20% even of the clearance of the site. And people keep paying as the construction is going on, and that shows, that signifies a lot of recovery, return on investment, whoever comes to invest. So this is one area to which I would like to indulge the Saudis investors to explore. And also the building material manufacturing hub is one area to which we have said that this current administration initiative, why we want to create that sector. A building material manufacturing hub is a hub that is on almost 300 hectares of land, where a lot of factories will be established, and then investment could take place on that land. So these are some of the things that I would like to share, and then also invite some of the investors in Saudi Arabia, which I've seen you have a lot of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us today. Please join me in thanking our esteemed panelists.